Welcome back to From the Bench, everybody. As always, I'm your host, Eric, and with me is my co-host, Trevor.
What's going on, y'all?
See, there we go. We got him back. Got the blood flowing. We got him back in the swing of things here.
We're back in the saddle.
We took a little hiatus. Hockey was just getting started again. Football playoffs were starting, and Trevor and I were just like, yeah, we'll take a bit of a break because that made sense. But it is what it is.
Here we are.
Here we are
talking about hockey
and talking about hockey. Is it just
foosball?
It's perfect.
Playoffs.
So we got a couple. We're recording this on Friday night. I'm literally watching the Leafs and Senators game in front of me. It is 1-1. Start of the second. I got another game on. I got a couple things going on, and then tonight my Colorado Avalanche and Nathan McKinnon, who's behind me there. They are taking on the Blues again. And first off, I just wanted to get Trevor's opinion. Through 4 periods of hockey, how do you feel the Leafs have done so far?
They've been so-so. They can be better. It's early, though, and they got 2 points the other night. But I think I'm a Leaf fan, but I think we stole one from Montreal, to be honest. We look slow at times. We look all right at times. I don't know. We got a little more sandpaper to our game, but I'm interested to see where we go looking forward here. You know, like after, we'll say, a good 10 games, and then I can really assess and let everybody know what I think of the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, well, it's hard to go after one game, right? Because how do you
Plus no preseason.
Yeah, no preseason.
There's been a couple, can we not agree? I think in the first 2 nights here, there's been a couple goals that are just like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
Like Sidney Crosby on Carter Hart the other night. Yeah. That was don't get me wrong, that was sick by Sid, but
yeah,
like an unbelievable play, but wow, you know what I mean? Like,
no, I agree. No, it's I said it's a different way to start the season. There's still so many questions. There's obviously you're talking about some rookies getting sent down, whether that's just temporary. You got guys like Quentin Byfield, who's the number 2 overall pick. You got Trevor Zegras there with the Ducks. He was obviously a huge name after the World Juniors. He gets sent down. So there's some guys that you're wondering kind of what's going on. I've heard that maybe I didn't really research it, but I heard maybe it was because of just like quarantining and stuff like that. Since the World Juniors, they have to quarantine until at least this Friday. And they're probably trying to, figure out some roster moves in the meantime. But yeah, they said get somebody like Byfield. Got to get him in the lineup. Some people, I talked to one guy today, he said, well, maybe they just don't want to burn a year of his entry-level contract in a year where it's only 56 games and you're probably going to be dog shit if you're looking back as the Kings anyways. So what's the big deal? You probably still want to be competitive, I would assume.
Definitely.
And you still want to see that guy develop. And the problem is, I don't know, maybe he gets enough in the AHL, but the AHL season's probably still so much up in the air too, right, with everything that's going on. So nobody really knows what's going on from day to day, from week to week. I'm a season ticket holder, as I mentioned before, for the Moncton Wildcats. We're back in orange. So what does that mean for us? What does that mean for the Q as a whole? It's hard to say, right? So yeah, we'll go from there. But
I can tell you what it means. No hockey.
Yeah, no hockey for us. So I don't know if we'll get back in the building. They'll have to figure out something for me because I paid a good chunk of money to have season tickets this year, and if I'm not allowed in that building, that's fine. But give me some of that money back. I don't know.
Yeah, some reimbursement.
I don't know if I just want it to come back as a next year, hold back some money for next year or whatever. So yeah, we'll go from there. Who is so what'd you think of Montreal though? You kind of got a first-hand look at Montreal. Who impressed you from Montreal? What about Montreal's game impressed you?
Well, I'm gonna hit it off running here. So Price did what Price did. He looked decent. Like, he didn't look fantastic, but he looked good. Yep. Right? Like, really good. Montreal structurally looked good. They're on the back end, man. They're physical. They're all vets.
They get a lot of guys.
They're almost all veterans, but I'm going to tell you that Romanov, man,
He looks
who
so
they've been
good.
kind of like hyping a little bit. I'll tell you, I watched that game, man, and he can tell he doesn't look like your typical rookie. You can tell he played in the KHL a couple of years. He looks like just a beauty. He looks like a man out there. I hate to say that because that doesn't sound appropriate or kind of sounds, I don't know,
No, but it's
overused.
true, right? It's a guy that
But
he.
man, he doesn't look phased. Like, okay, so like the last minute of the game, I know I'm jumping forward big time here, but the last minute of the game, he's out there. And that's Claude Julien. If you don't know what you're doing, and he never does that with rookies, right?
No.
I'm actually pretty impressed with him because he did the same thing in the playoffs with Suzuki, who also looked really well, but he took a bad penalty and it kind of rallied the Leafs. They scored and basically never looked back after that. But yeah, let's get back to Romanov for a second though. Like, he looks like a beauty. He's on. I can't remember if it's the first. I think I want to say it's the second power play. But man, like I said, he looks the part everywhere. It's like nothing phases him. Like, it looks like he's played in the NHL for a couple of years. Like,
Yeah.
he's pretty impressive. And he's a good size. He's bigger than I remembered. So he physically got bigger. Like, you know what I mean? He kind of grew into his body a little bit better. But he's ready for prime time. So them holding him back another year was a good call. But he looks, like I said, like it looks like he's played a couple of years in the NHL. He looks like the real deal. And Montreal fans, like, it sucks for me because I'm a Leaf fan, but good for you guys. Like, good on you.
Yeah, well, and that's it, right? So if you get some of these guys that they're obviously going to play pretty well, and like I said, that's the thing as a Montreal fan or whoever team you're rooting for, right? It's you gotta hope
Suzuki though, man. Can we both agree, man? I think he's gonna be really fucking good.
That kid is a unit.
Wow. Like, he's just like last night he skate or 2 nights ago, sorry, the opening night. He's skating around. You could just tell the swagger, the confidence with the puck, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna do big things this year for them. What else did I want to say about? Oh, and Josh Anderson, man. Wow. Like, he just did his thing out there. Like, first of all, he's a big guy, so he's throwing his weight around out there. But his speed, I think he not Morgan Riley, but he got around TJ Browdy.
Yeah.
And went to the net. I think actually he might have scored on that. Might have been a second goal. I can't remember. But he looks really good for them too, and that's a good sign for Montreal right at the gates, right?
Well, they were just
brand new team, and he just buries one.
Yeah, so, he's a guy that's
buries
actually.
A couple, sorry.
They've tried to draft a couple of these guys that are big size guys in the wing and stuff like that, and never really. They've always kind of been weird players type of thing. Know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh yeah, you got a weird, not really a high upside, bigger sized, winger or center or whatever it was, but. This is the first one that's kind of like, holy crap, this guy's a unit. Plus he can score some goals for you. Plus he's a playmaker. Like, that guy's got a whole lot going for him. So it's kind of nice to see that they can get that. And
they kind of look deep too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they, I wouldn't. So I don't know. Like, you know how Montreal in the last 4 or 5 years, there's a lot of third line players. So we always joke around about that and saying, they got a lot of depth guys. Yeah. They don't got like borderline number ones. I don't know if they fixed that problem yet, but they're well on their way, especially Suzuki, like I said. And what is it? Kakaniemi looked all right last night.
Yeah.
The other night, it wasn't his best game.
He went overseas to play too, didn't
bad.
he? I think that's Kakaniemi. He went overseas.
They sent him the minors, didn't they?
I know. I think over this summer / this fall, I think he went over to play. I thought I heard something on the.
You could be right. I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to.
No.
But but overall, Montreal. Like, I think Montreal carried the play for a lot of that game. Honestly, I think Toronto showed signs of being brilliant. I think like a couple guys stood out for Toronto. I really liked. Willie. Obviously, Willie had an awesome game, unbelievable, and
he has those every
probably
once in a
him
while,
and Tavares. No, he's just man, he's just so confident. Like. He's 24 now though, so like I feel like, and Austin Matthews, like I was actually impressed. He was in there on the forecheck. I was happy about that, but I'm still not sold on Joe. I still want to honestly even watching a little bit of this Ottawa game here before we come on.
Yeah.
I just feel like they need Hyman. Like it'd be a lot nicer. Like, I love Joe trailing in, but it just sometimes Marner doesn't want to go get in that corner to retrieve the puck. So get what I mean? Like I don't know. So, but I don't, I'm not sold on it yet, but it's fuck. Like I told you guys, our fans, it's only 2 games in here. Let's not be too critical. But I was pumped that we scored on the power play again tonight. That's 3 goals. And 4 periods, and that's a good start.
Yeah, well, you got to start
for that.
You got to start somewheres with that kind of stuff, right? Like, you gotta
Exactly.
you gotta start kicking it off, and I think you guys, like, you ran into Murray, and obviously Ottawa's a very young team. I think some people think that Ottawa's going to be a tire fire, and I don't really see it, to be honest. Like,
they got a lot of veterans.
Yeah, like I don't know. They had a lot. They had a kind of a sneaky good year in the offseason. Like, I kind of like what. Do I think they're going to win the Stanley Cup? No, right? But do I think they're going to be a more competitive team? Yeah, and I think they did that so they can put guys out there like Stutzel, and they can put out all these younger guys, Drake Batherson and whatnot. And you're not relying on those guys to be that first line, center or winger or whatever, right? Like, put them down on the second line. If they're struggling, throw them down on the third line. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But it's just, some of these people have to understand that, and that's why you bring in a Derek Stephon, you bring in, a couple of these other guys over the year, right?
So, well, exactly. Like you said, they bring in Stephon, then what do? They get 2 veterans that just won the Stanley Cup with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And, like, I know people are like, oh, salary cap, all this, that, and that. Yeah, maybe. To me, more of Colburn is a dump. Is a salary dump.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to get rid of Paquette. Let's be honest. He was a pretty good player for them.
Guess what, though? They also have to hit that bare minimum for salary cap.
That's right.
So,
well, for example, people, if people don't know, Vegas played on Wednesday night with 5 defensemen.
Yeah.
They dressed 5 defensemen and 13 forwards. This is the NHL. This isn't house league. This isn't rec league.
No.
This isn't beer league. This is the NHL. They went 5 defensemen. That's why.
This isn't T-Ward over here playing house league hockey. Playing
wheeling in the backyard with the old Bauer. What do you call those things there? Shit, I can't even remember what they're called.
I always remember my cousin Mark. I always remember
rollerblades. Bauer rollerblades. There it is.
I remember my cousin Mark. He went and got when we were kids playing on the pond, and Mark bought all his own hockey gear. Like, it was what it was. So he goes out and spends like $70 on this like yellow Nike like one-piece stick, and he was like, holy crap, here we go. And all of a sudden it was literally we were on the pond, winds up, takes a slapper, just disintegrates on him.
That's awesome. I had the same thing happen. I think it was a CCM Vector or something like that.
Yeah. So
excited. So I take one snapper and warm-ups with it, because it was like the warm-ups, don't ask.
Yeah.
Beat out in the game. The old Jay first sets me up with a one-timer. I let her fucking buck, boy. Stick just explodes everywhere. It was priceless.
You would be the fucking guy that goes and letting slappers go from 2 feet away in warm-ups on the goalie trying to shoot at his head.
Buddy, let me tell you. Depends who the goalie was.
Yeah, depends which one it was.
If it was you, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. But seriously. Cheers.
But seriously, cheers. But yeah, like I said, it's good to see. There's we have some good young rookies. I was hearing some people kind of freak out about Lafreniere and how the Rangers got shut out. Yeah, guess what? They're playing the Islanders. Like, if you're looking to see what a guy can do offensively and you're trying to measure him against the Islanders, probably not where you want to measure him against, right? Like,
another team that just picked up, looked like they're just picked up where they left off in the playoffs.
But they didn't have a whole lot of, turnover. It's the same coach. It's the same players as a whole. It's the same system. Yeah, you're bringing in a guy here and there. But for the most part, that team's still – and they're so good defensively that – you know what I mean? Like,
and that's what? Second, third year of Trotz? Second for sure, wasn't it?
Third.
Or was that the first?
Third.
This is third year?
Yeah, because he won the –
So it's going to be dividends. Like, this is what you expect.
He won the cup with Washington. St. Louis won it the next year, and then Tampa won it last year. So – But
the Islanders, both years under Trotz, have made the playoffs.
Oh, and they're one of the better teams, right? It's just, like I said, it's a different system to play, and when it's going good, right? So,
and they capitalize on their chances.
Oh yeah, do they ever? So no, like I said, it's exciting to see. Like I said, I think Lafreniere is pretty good. I don't think there's any reason.
I wouldn't panic, people. It's the first fucking game of the year.
Exactly. Right?
The whole New York Ranger team didn't look great.
No.
We knew this could happen. First of all, they got a lot of young guys besides him that have been in the NHL either a year or maybe a couple of years. So this happens, and oh man, Sisterkin though, I love him though.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
I was surprised that they got 4 by them, but like we said, it's early. Let's not panic.
no,
But that division, Eric, is fucking
that's
unreal.
a good division.
Yeah, there's gonna be 2 good teams not make the playoffs, which is unreal.
100%. If anybody doesn't know, if you follow us on social media, chances are you'll notice I have a new hobby slash habit. I don't know what you want to call it at this point, but it is sports cards. And actually, I pulled Alexis Lafreniere the other day, and I got the French version, which is like the more rare, fancier version. So pretty
That's
happy with that.
badass.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that happened, so that's really kind of
yeah.
neat.
There you
So I
go.
just learned something.
Picking you up. No, it's yeah. The sports card thing is it's taken me over at this point. Not even gonna lie to you
It's
guys.
all right though.
It's a wonderful time. But yeah, so that's pretty much that. I don't know if you got to watch the rookie for Minnesota. I don't know if you got to see that game yesterday. Any
I
highlights of
heard,
that?
like I read on it, that he scored a goal and assist, the overtime winner.
Two goals and an assist, I think.
You want to know a fun fact that I just heard before we came on the pod? Sorry.
Yeah.
He played 6. He's 23. He's
Yep.
played 6 years in the KHL, which I thought was really neat. So that's unreal, really, if you think about it. He's 23 years old.
Yeah, he was taken back in the 2015 draft, so they've essentially been waiting for him for 6 years here in Minnesota, right? And it gave him time.
Well, he's only
to develop.
23, so he's
Yeah.
the same age as Matthews,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
So, but he's putting up like that kid is. People are saying like he might be. A lot of people even before the year said this kid's probably going to have the best chance at winning the Calder. So last year in the KHL, he put up 62 points. The year before, he put up 51 points. In 57 games, like both years, put up 30 goals and 33 goals. So kid can score. He knows what he's doing. He's all kinds of talented. So
And he's playing all kinds of minutes. He's on the top line. He's on the top power play unit. So he's getting every lifeline to succeed, if that makes any sense at all. Where he got Stutzla for Ottawa, where I think they're gonna hide him or shelter him a little bit, which is normal. So he'll see power play time, obviously, but I don't think he'll see the top matchups. That's all I'm saying. So
that's
and a little bit less ice time, imagine. Quite a bit.
Yeah, you can't. You're not going to.
But he'll be right there. Like he'll be in the conversation, I imagine. Hard to say. We'll find out.
Yeah,
that's
like I said,
it's for sure.
It's hard, and obviously a lot of these guys are going to try to figure it out on the fly. A lot of these teams are going to do the same thing. Like I said,
that's all you can do at this point.
You gotta try to find the line combinations. You gotta try to find who likes. I know Colorado tonight. They've already switched up some of their line combinations. Like Cale Makar last year, he obviously had a really good year. All last year, he was with Ryan Graves. This year, no, they traded for Devon Taves and from the Islanders, and they're trying it out with him. They're saying, like, let's see what we can get out of Devon and Cale. I think that's a good lineup for us back there as our number one, and then even the first line, they're switching it up after kind of a lackluster first game, which I'll kind of get into real quick. Just obviously we gave the Maple Leaf report. Now we're kind of getting into the Colorado report. Nathan
Actually,
McKinnon,
he's more positive than I
Yeah,
was, people. I'm
well.
just going to say that.
Nathan McKinnon, he got into it. He was obviously, I found he started off slow, and then he kind of kicked it in, and then it was trying, and he had some good chances. He had one that was just below the, kind of just that couple inches between the pad and the glove. Just couldn't get it to squeak by. He played really well. They just couldn't find that last bounce.
Just didn't buy one.
Yeah, and the guys that you're playing against are good players, right? Like St. Louis isn't a slouch of a team.
Won the cup a couple of years ago, just 1 year removed.
And they may not have the best showing last year, but obviously they didn't.
That whole team caught COVID apparently right before the playoffs started.
Yeah,
which is fucking. People are now, speaking of that, I'm going to cut them off for a second, people. Did you know, Eric? People are now betting on Dallas to win the cup because 17 players have caught it. So they figure if other teams go through that, Dallas might catch them all and won't have to worry about that.
Oh my god!
I thought that was interesting as a gambling way.
Well, you gotta think they technically what they say is chances are you won't be able to catch it again, right? So if you're done, you don't have to
Exactly. At
worry
least,
about
yeah.
you don't have to worry about getting into the playoffs, and all of a sudden, holy crap, we have X amount of players that can't play. Technically, you're going to become a bunch of immunicorns, and just going to be immune to it, right? If that's the way it kind of works. But yeah, that's I said
Who
it's
knows at this point?
yeah, exactly. Um, is there any teams that you're kind of excited for this season, just to see what like who are you higher on than you think some people might be?
I'm high on St. Lou. I don't know where the people are vibe with. People forget. I know it's been a year removed since they won the cup, but I'm high on St. Lou. Um, what division you want to talk about? Like everybody's picking your boys. Does that make you nervous? There, like a lot of people think that you guys need a goalie. I'm not quite sure if you do, but who knows? Where are you at on that? Let's get that out of the way first.
Well, see, you can't see this, but if you're watching this on YouTube, you should check the. I just brought up a little picture. So it's the divisions. So you have the North. So that's obviously all the Canadian teams. So you get Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and Winnipeg. I think Edmonton's already early on in the season's proven they cannot do anything to stop a goal going in their net.
They're not. They're not defending. Yeah,
no,
totally
their only hope is for them to score 6 a game, and if that's and obviously they had the firepower to be able to do that. But as long as they can do that, then you know what they might be able to to do something too. For them it's just nothing on the defensive end of it. Just really, I don't know. It's hard for me to kind of get excited for. Then obviously you have the West. That's Anaheim, Arizona, Colorado, LA, Minnesota, San Jose, St. Louis, and Vegas. That possibly is there's some slouches in there, I guess, but it's got some pretty heavy hitters when you talk about Colorado, St. Louis, and Vegas.
Well, there's three favorites in that division, if you ask me, but like 3 cup contenders. That's just my opinion. Like I think you just nailed it on the head. Like you're talking about the Abs. Vegas, obviously,
and then St. Louis, right?
I like St. Louis. Like, don't sleep on St. Louis, people. And you got Arizona in there, who's a fucking wild card. But they looked good last night.
Hey, our boy.
I know they lost, but they showed fight.
Yeah.
So they got good goaltending there. They've got guys that can put the puck in the net. So we'll see how that goes. And what is this talk? It's second or third year there. So guys are kind of getting the idea of the system. They had to subtract a bunch of guys like. Me and Eric just mentioned earlier, Stefan, which it hurts them, yes, but it also bumps some youth up in the lineup that have been seasoned slightly. So we'll see how that goes. But don't sleep on Arizona. But like I said, those top 3, like St. Lou, the Abs, and Vegas.
Yeah, no,
serious
I think those.
Dallas is in that division, right? Or no?
No. So Dallas is in the next one, which is the Central, which is Carolina, Chicago, they're terrible. Once again, what do you do, right? You're missing
getting good goaltending tonight. Actually,
are they? I don't have the.
They are.
I don't have that game on. I got every other game on, but
geez, I wonder why.
Columbus, Dallas. Obviously, they haven't played yet. Detroit, so see what Detroit can kind of muster up. Florida, Nashville, and Tampa. Florida's actually talking about getting rid of Keith Yandel. Keith is how I just said it.
They're saying I heard that he could end his streak, his Iron Man streak, because they might scratch him. Are you fucking kidding me? What a load of shit that is.
Well, it's just I don't. Are you
kidding me? A guy works that hard.
Yeah, and I understand you got young guys that you want to play too, but I don't know. That guy can't be your sixth. Even if you're not he's not very good defensively or whatever. If you're trying to say that's your excuse. Well, no, but you got to have something on the power play. Put him on your third pairing defense, and use him mainly as a power play specialist, or when you're down 2 goals in the third, because chances are you're gonna be down 2 goals in the third, right? I don't know. It's just a weird thing. And maybe it's because obviously Keith Yandel played for Moncton, so he's always gonna have a soft
he's
spot
still a
for,
good defenseman,
us, right? But he's coming off a 40, I think it was a 40 assist season, right? With them. So I don't know. It's weird. Florida just is a weird franchise, right? You just wonder what they're gonna do. They have Huberdeau, he put up good points last year. They have Barkov, who they just signed to a short-term deal there. I think they got him for a 3-year deal. They want to extend him further, but I think they just gave him a little one for now. it's just I don't know. They're different. You get
I've got
Nashville.
the vibe there, and I hate to say this. If you're a Panther fan, man, I hate to say this, but I'm getting a weird vibe that I'm starting to think they're going to rebuild again. And what in the hell? Like, how can you keep flipping? Like, they had a pretty good nucleus, and they're
Well,
going to rebuild again?
it's
Like, it
weird
doesn't
because
make
I don't know.
any sense.
And like I know goalies are different, but you give Bobrovsky this huge contract,
10 a
like
year
10, yeah, for a
for
long
like what? 7 years, I
7
think.
years, and
I'm
then
pretty sure it was.
but then you go and spend a first round pick to draft Spencer Knight, right? The goalie that won the gold for Team USA. Like, so you're gonna give this guy big money, and like I said, I understand goalies are different. They don't develop as quickly.
Not everybody's Carter Hart's what he's getting at. You're not
Yes.
going to just jump in the NHL
No, like
after
goalies
basically a
aren't
year.
goalies aren't jumping in
Or Carey Price.
yeah, exactly. Goalies aren't jumping in at 22 years old. Typically, right? Usually, a lot of them they're 24 or whatever. I understand,
Or a lot older.
If you're bringing in a guy, if you're drafting him first overall, like you gotta have some other kind of plan for that whole thing. I think, but I don't know. That's for them to kind of figure out at the same time. Finishing up that division is Nashville, and then some team called Tampa Bay. I don't know. I think they might be okay. They're also.
So who do you got?
Oh, that
Give me those teams you like.
the best
out of
team in that
division.
the best team in that division is Tampa. That's even without Kucherov. Like that.
Agreed.
That's going to be a cheat code for them comes playoff time, because you have to be within the salary cap when it comes playoff time. So they're just
And that is very possible. What Eric's saying too. They're saying that there's a good chance he's back in the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say.
and that's what it's supposed to be, right? Come playoff time, they're supposed to get him back if everything goes properly. They're supposed to get him back for playoff time, and I said they can fill out the roster, in the meantime. So that's
and they still got the best defenseman.
Yeah,
in the league right now,
and they still have a top 3 goaltender in the league, and they still have
probably the best goalie in the league.
Exactly, and then
he's fucking close.
Then they have Braden Point, who's a top 25 forward in the league, probably. And then just go down through all the other guys they got, all the depth pieces, all this stuff, right? So it's pretty interesting to see what they might have going on, and what they can kind of develop as time goes on. The last division is the East Division. And finishing off that division, I think Dallas is going to be pretty good in there. And
do you think Dallas makes it too? Okay.
Yeah, and then Carolina. Yeah, probably Carolina. I like Carolina. I don't know why. I just think I think
like Tampa, Carolina,
and Dallas. Yeah, I just think Rob Brindamore is so good that he's hard not to.
Somebody who else was in that division? Oh, Nashville. I think Nashville could squeak in.
Nashville.
I'm not sure.
Columbus.
I want to pick Columbus to get in, but if they trade, like, I don't know what is going on there. Like, I kind of feel bad for Columbus. He's 22 years old.
Yeah, but he's not really saying. He's saying that he wants out. So what do? Right? Like, yeah, if he wants out, and you're trying to fix it, and it's not working out.
I hope, honestly, between you and I hope they wait until the off season. Hope he plays this whole year there.
It's weird, right? Like, do you want to waste a year? If you wait, the thing is, you wait till the off season, you're going to get less back because they're going to get less value, right? So if he's going, you trade
I don't know.
him
He signed that 2-year deal though, so
yeah, but that's just to get him on the ice and get him going. And to be honest, that just helps him with trading, right? So if somebody trades him for this year, it's not just on a loaner or a rental. This way,
for sure, he'd still be
an RFA.
Restricted after this. Yeah, exactly. He'd still
so
be restricted after.
You give somebody the next team that you trade him to, they get another year, already. So they get 2 years to look through him, right, in their system, everything else, and then they also like for them it made sense because it's looking better as a trade chip to have him like that. I think is why they.
Would you flip him if you're Winnipeg? Would you do that trade, or would you do that trade if you're Columbus? Would you flip him for Line if that was on the table?
Oh, I probably would. Like I said, you're just getting rid of the thing. I don't think you ever do it as if you're Trotz. You think Line is going to fit into Trotz's system?
No, not Trotz. I'm talking to
Winnipeg.
Tortorella.
I mean, but I meant Tortorella in
you mean Line? Okay, yeah.
Tortorella. Like
who fucking knows?
You think
Line
you think
he's
Line is
so
gonna
weird sometimes.
Play that 2-way game? Like, no, there's no way. Like, I don't know.
Although we'll give him credit, he played better defensively last year for the first time in his career, so we'll give him that. But
Yeah, like I
he looked
said,
like he was trying. That's all I'm gonna
hey,
say.
he got a 2 goals and an assist and kind of sort
Yeah,
of
he looked good.
getting a little tussle last night, and yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know who you go for. I don't know what team.
Centers are harder to find, but like Eric said, like Line A, there's a lot of goal scoring there. I know
It's
we
just
haven't seen his best probably the
yeah.
last couple of years, but he's bound to find it.
I think Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think there's a good chance that guy ends over up in. He
Don't
ends
say
up.
the Rangers.
No, you're gonna really hate it. I think he's gonna end up in Montreal.
I knew you were going to Habs. Okay.
Yeah,
What are they going to send back though?
I don't know.
They do have a lot of assets.
Couple
So
picks
I'm
and
just gonna say that.
assets. They'll throw in somebody that's in the minors somewheres,
They
right?
need to probably send over
Drouin, throw fucking
They
Drouin.
won't send Suzuki over, but they'll probably have
No,
to send
no,
Cagliano
Suzuki's a
what's that?
stud.
Kakaniemi? He'd
No,
probably have to be
I
part
don't
of
think
it. I think he would.
Maybe.
I think he would.
Maybe.
You know, think about it. Like if you're giving up a center, you'd want a young center back, and they'd have to get.
I'd give up
Personally,
Drouin.
they'd have to give him the first, I think, too, and stuff.
I'd give up Durant a second and a fourth, and see
They'd
if they
never
take
do that.
that.
I would never do that. You're sending me back spare parts in Durant. Like you don't know what you're getting. Like I'd rather
Trust
have.
Me, I agree. I do not
finish
think
fucking center.
I do
Just
not
saying.
think Durant. I think that was that trade just looks worse and worse every time.
Fuck, it's mind-boggling, Eric.
Every time you watch Sergachev out there, you're just like, oh, so they traded that guy, which at the time everyone was like, why is Montreal trading for this guy? And they're like, well, maybe they can unlock something out of Durant that Tampa Bay can't. What, Tampa Bay, one of the better teams in the league, can't unlock something out of this guy? Like, are you like, don't be stupid.
At this point in his career, he looked a lot better in Tampa than he does in Montreal. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes, I don't know. And he's obviously undersized, and I don't know what is really holding him back. To be honest, I haven't watched a whole lot of his game, but
he did play with more talented players in Tampa. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, continue on. Stop cutting you off.
No, it's all good. The last division is the East, which that's Boston, Buffalo, New Jersey, the Islanders, the Rangers, Philly, Pittsburgh, and Washington. So Philly, I think, is one of the better teams in that division.
They're off
Washington
to a good start. That's all we'll say.
Is going to be good, and the Islanders. So that leaves, if you're trying to fill out, the playoffs, it's going to be hard, right?
4 teams, and they're going to make her. And
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
So you're looking at anywhere to the Rangers, Boston, New Jersey. I think we'll just take New Jersey to the side. They made a lot of good moves.
Yeah.
They're just not there yet.
Does Pittsburgh
compared
not
to these
make
other
it?
Giants.
The
way they've looked the last 4 periods, not good. But
they're only down 3-2 now, by the way.
I know, but Malcolm better start showing up here. He hasn't shown it up yet. See that second goal? It was their third line again. Believe it or not,
Mr.
Pittsburgh's had a lot of goal scoring here in the last couple of years from their second line.
Brandon Taylor.
Third line.
I think to me it's Islanders, Philly, and then Washington, which is scary to think that a team like Boston, Pittsburgh, the Rangers, like there's a chance that all those teams don't make it. So that's pretty crazy.
Luck of the draw.
We never mentioned the North, which is the Canadian teams. Who do you think is going to make it for the North, Trevor?
Well, I like my Maple Leafs. Now, I don't know if I believe in the hype of them winning the division. Don't really give a shit, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just get one of the 4 spots.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I really want to watch Montreal again, Eric, because I like the way they played us. Like, I just feel like they're pretty good this year. Vancouver looked really good in the first game and then got their ass handed to them in the second game. So, okay, so who I like the Oilers coming out of that division. I like Toronto. I like Montreal. And I'm going to say Van, which is crazy because I was always a Calgary fan and I like their team, but I don't know. I just feel like Montreal
It's a weird
might be able
year.
to do something.
It's a weird year. You're only playing the teams in your division.
And I like the Jets too, which is crazy. Like fuck. They can't, fuck.
You can't get them all, but no, it's have to wait and see. Obviously, we're still really early into this. I think you get Toronto. I don't understand. I understand Vancouver can be good. I don't know if I believe in Holtby and Demko back there.
He looked some good in the first game, though. That's all I'm gonna like.
Yeah, I think
him.
Holtby is, but like Demko, I think is who they wanted their horse to be, and I don't think they're gonna have the chance to make that. I actually, to be honest, I really wouldn't be surprised if, and this is maybe a homer pick, but if Ottawa made it, I think if they snuck in, it'd be kind of weird. But obviously, Toronto, Edmonton, I'm gonna go Winnipeg, and then I'll go Ottawa, just to spice it up. Hey man, I
like it.
I think DJ Smith is a really good coach, and I understand they finished really low in the league. But man, that team played really hard and played really well for like pretty much all their games. Like,
and they got a lot more veterans this year.
And they were never blown out last year, right? Like, that was the big thing. To me, I didn't find that they were ever like, holy, this team is totally outmatched or anything.
And
like
they're
that.
Clearly beating Toronto right now 4-2. I just looked at the score here on my phone.
Yeah, I'm watching.
It's not good.
She's on the big screen behind me. So
did they pull Anderson yet?
No. So they weren't really goals that were his fault, I wouldn't say. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think that's where we'll stop it for hockey for today, and we'll move over to the NFL. And the first thing, Trevor, we had the first ever 6-game wild card weekend. You had some good games. You had some games that I know people, if you've listened to this, you know that I'm not a big Baltimore Ravens fan. So I wasn't super excited about that whole game. I just thought the Titans were better. And I think the Titans were a better team. I think I don't know what Arthur Smith, I don't know if he was too busy staying up to get all of his interviews done with all the new teams that he might be going to, coach. And obviously at this point, he's accepted to take the job.
For the Falcons. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he did. He said it earlier. So, I don't know, man. Like, it's just like Trevor won a fantasy championship off of Ryan Tannehill rolling out and getting involved in the run game, and getting into space and little dump offs and this and that, and then all of a sudden you hit the playoffs, and that didn't exist. It's running Derrick Henry into the line over and over and over again when they're loading the box with 8 guys. Like, that's exactly when
you two or 3 yards.
Yeah, that's exactly when you want to roll, Tannehill out. That's when you want to get the play action going. That's when you want all this stuff, right? And like, still feed Derrick Henry the ball some. But if you can tell, if there's no worry about a play action, or like I said, Tannehill literally won Trevor 2 fantasy championships by rolling out and getting into the end zone and making plays with his feet. Like, the guy's an athlete out there. Especially how they started.
Let me set the record straight. Trevor won because of the talented picks and
God.
the vision. Vision he has.
Listen to this guy. He's so full of it.
2 out of 3 leagues he won. I'm just going to say that. That's how I see it. Okay, he saw it like that. Tannehill, dinking and dunking and rolling out. Yeah. Okay, come on.
Well, he said it was just one of those things, especially where you start off and they go down and they're right off the bat.
They were up, weren't they? They were up by 10, I think.
Right?
Yeah,
and they get a touchdown.
That's where they got to be.
Yeah, that's where you want. And then there's some weird plays, some not going for it on 4th and 2, not going for it on 4th and 3, like in the fourth quarter. When you know that Ravens team, they're not going to throw the ball. They're going to run the ball and try to, wear out time. Like, none of it made sense. It was just a really weird game from Mike Vrabel, who I think is a very good coach. So I don't know. It's one of those things you just shake your head at and hope for next year.
That defense.
They obviously had issues too, right? This year they lose Taylor.
Defense was garbage this year.
The
garbage.
Defense is terrible. They have no pass rush at all, which is actually kind of funny and everyone wants to, and I liked Lamar coming out of college. Like, anyone can ask. Like, I thought that was one of the best things about Lamar.
He was higher on Lamar than I was.
Yeah, like I thought Lamar. I'm like, how is this guy that just put up all these video game numbers in college, all of a sudden everyone thinks he stinks? I'm like, that doesn't make sense. But like I said, people are like, oh my God, Lamar and the Falcons are back. They scored 20 points against a terrible, like the 31st ranked defense in the league. And I don't know, I think we'll get into it, but I think they're going to be in for a
They're playing, Yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what I was going for. They're playing Buffalo, correct?
Yeah. So we're gonna wait on that for 2 seconds. We're just gonna keep on. We'll finish off the games real quick before we get into that because I got things here. The other games that were in there, the Bears and Saints stunk. That was a terrible game. Nobody
That was a
wanted to watch
horrible
that
game.
game.
It was garbage.
The Bucks and Washington. Washington kind of hung around. So that was kind of
Washington
Yeah.
hung around. Like, I'll give a shout out to what's that guy, the quarterback's name?
Heineke.
Heiskanen?
Heineke.
Anyways, Heineke,
Yeah.
you balled out, man. Like, I hope you get a contract next year. You look good.
Yeah. At least
You
give
know,
him
more positive than negatives. Like,
Exactly.
You looked really good.
give him a shot. Obviously
You
Chase.
know, he looked better than Haskins.
Yeah,
a lot better.
That's why Haskins, out there on the free agency
That's why
wire.
he's out there swinging, golfing, or some shit, or probably at the strip club with no mask on.
Yeah.
Good job, Haskins.
What an idiot.
What a dumbass.
You don't even have that. Doesn't even come down to. It goes like the same thing. Like that doesn't even go to like anybody's opinions on masks or anything like that. That literally just goes down to there are rules that you can't do to have this multi-million-dollar job. Trevor, if I told you can't do something, and if you don't do it, that you're gonna make millions and millions and millions of dollars, what are you not going to do? Whatever the hell I just told you not to do. And you got guys like him. You guys in the NBA, you got guys like James Harden. He's doing.
He
the same
reminds
thing.
me of remember Russell was Jamarcus. Who was the Raiders quarterback?
Yeah, Jamarcus Russell or
like,
Johnny
what are
Manziel.
they, cousins?
Or Johnny
Get
Manziel.
your shit together, man. Like, this is the NFL. Like, you're gonna be set for life. Like, you could potentially be a legend. Like, what are you thinking?
You just came You just came over as the most highly ranked Ohio State quarterback of all time, or whatever it was.
What a joke!
Like I said, it's the same as Johnny Manziel, right? Johnny Manziel just went to practice drunk every day. Like, he just couldn't get over this high flying, lifestyle of he's the man, Money Manziel. Like,
Naive.
it's just
gotta work for it, people.
Some of these people, man. But anyways, we got
Waste of talent.
Got a little sidetracked there.
You know who's not like that from Ohio State? Justin Fields.
Wait and see. That's another episode, Trevor. Well, calm down.
No, I'm just saying he's not a bum. That's all I'm saying, people. Like, he'll work. He'll put the work in.
Next game up there, you had the Rams taking on the Seahawks. The Rams and their defense. That game was 30-20. It was not even close. I don't know. The Rams defense is so good, and Russell Wilson looked terrible.
Did you like that they fired Schottenheimer over that shit?
Did.
That was a cop-out.
No.
I didn't like it at all.
I think Schottenheimer's been a terrible offensive coordinator for them for 3 years. Like,
but if you look at the first 9 weeks, they're killing it. Like, they're the best in the league.
That's the way Schottenheimer always is. And then maybe that's more Pete Carroll trying to get involved, and we got to run the ball more and whatever. But Brian Schottenheimer, I haven't been impressed with as a head coach for, I don't know, ever. Or as a coordinator.
Offensive coordinator. I got you, yeah.
But like I said, just not somebody that's ever really stood out to me and impressed me. So the Colts and Bills, that was a weird game. It went on longer than what it should have been. That was a fumble.
The Bills almost blew it.
Yeah, the Bills almost blew it multiple times. Then you look on the other side of it, and you have, the Colts, and the guy fumbles the ball. You have the Colts for some reason in the 2-minute warning with no timeouts left. They're running the ball and taking 30 seconds off the clock. Like, I remember looking up. I'm like, okay, well, they get the 2-minute warning, they'll be good. And next thing I look, and they're down to a minute left, and I was like, what? Like, but they haven't gone anywhere. It's like nobody's done anything here. It was just a really weird game.
Is Phillip coming back next year?
I think he will.
Do you think Indy brings him back?
Yeah, I guess. I think they would. I think they're going to look at their options. Obviously, you have guys like Carson Wentz that are out there. That obviously.
I don't know. They're retracting that, saying now that Peterson's gone, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, you have to wait and see what.
What do you think of that? Actually, I want to get your opinion on that call there.
I think Doug Peterson is a stooge. I don't think he's. I think. I think
he's 3 years away removed though from winning the. So I thought that was surprising. But
and since Frank Reich left, they haven't been the same. So who was the mastermind behind everything? Was it Doug Peterson, who made really terrible decisions a lot of the time, or was it, on the opposite side of it, was it, Frank Reich, who was really good, and then Indy took him, and then Indy's been really good ever since, right? Like, I just don't think I think Doug Peterson's got a shitty attitude, and I think he hasn't really impressed me a whole lot. Now maybe other people have different opinions than I do, but I just think he's not good. I also thought it was kind of a cop out. And it goes back on the GM too, but you have somebody like, Carson Wentz, who you just decided to give all this money to, but then you draft a quarterback in the second round. Like, what was the point of drafting a quarterback in the second round if you just gave this guy all this money?
Like, there's a lot of funny things going on in Philadelphia this year.
Like, it's one thing for the Packers to do it because you're like, okay, Rodgers, is he declining? How much time does he have left? You can use a lot of excuses of why the Packers did it. I still think them taking Jordan Love didn't make a whole lot of sense, but you can understand why, right? You never know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers wakes up tomorrow and says, I want to retire. And like I said, he's not a spring chicken. He's been in the league now for...
He's 37, I believe.
So, he's an older guy out there. So they had to
It's kind of so funny, Eric, if you think about it. Like, look at the NFC. They got all the veteran quarterbacks, all these old guys. And then you look at the AFC and you got all these young bucks.
I was going to say, just a bunch of young bucks from top to bottom. But no, I said just didn't make sense. So like I said, some of it has to go back on. And I just don't know if, as a whole, with that organization, if they can come back from it and say, like, look, here's the reason why we did what we did. We're sorry. And kind of fix that relationship. I think that's going to be a hard task for them to do. So I think Carson Wentz is gone.
I think Peterson cooked his own goose.
Yeah. And maybe he said he wanted Hurts, right?
Or sitting Hurts.
Yeah.
But I think he sat Hurts and gave the other guy a chance because I think he was told. I think they're going for the higher draft pick, basically. Yeah, I think there was a collective agreement, and then he just got, bent over, kind of screwed over there. But
you can't do that.
Like Eric said, he did a bunch of stupid calls, going for it on fourth down, and just there's a lot of stuff I did not like from him this year. He's just like we always talk about fundamental football, like just the little things that make such a big impact in football. And the whole team just did it wrong. What the best part of this team was this year? Jim Schwartz and the defense.
Yeah.
Because at one point they were really banged up and they were playing bad, and he got them somewhat playing decent. So Schwartz, I don't blame you for not coming back this year.
It's the only thing, and like I said, I think everyone just heard me today. Like, I'm not a big fan when it comes to one Mr. Doug Peterson. But a lot of people said, like, what is he doing? He's an idiot. How dare he, bench Hurts and blah, blah, blah. You're trying to lose. Hurts was 7 for 20 for 73 yards and 2 interceptions, I'm pretty sure. So there might have been a good reason on why you want to bench this guy, right?
There were the 3 points down, or was it 7? I can't remember.
I don't know, but he wasn't playing good.
They're close.
Hurts
wasn't his best outing.
I mean, literally, here, I'll pull it up. There it is. They lost 20-14. He got pulled in the second half. They were tied, or maybe down by, I guess they would have been tied maybe. 7 for 20 for 72 yards and 1 interception. Got sacked once. His QB rating was terrible. Now, is Nate Sudfeld the answer? Probably not, right? I don't think he was good.
God bless him.
But you could always say that was the reason why you benched him. You just thought maybe Hurts wasn't having it that game. Obviously wasn't doing much in the air. He only had, and you can say anything you want about his legs, but even if you include the ground, he only had 106 yards total between on the ground and passing in 2.5 quarters or whatever it was at the time, right? So it's hard. I guess you can see it both ways, but I think Carson Wentz has to go, and either you decide, hey, I want to build this around Hurts, or do I want to go and build it around somebody else.
Wentz, who everybody's saying is broken.
Or maybe they take another
So
quarterback.
we'll see how it goes.
Maybe they take
So how'd
another
you do on
quarterback.
your picks this weekend? How'd you do? Who'd you have? You
So-
must have had the Colts. Be honest.
No, I had the Bills. I
ya?
thought Josh Allen was gonna win.
But you're quietly rooting for the
Well,
Colts.
yeah, I'm quietly rooting.
I hear ya.
I have to listen to people and idiots out there and be like, Phillip Rivers isn't a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm like, you're all stupid. Like, the guy is top 5 in every statistical category. He's got a better. The only thing he doesn't have is a Super Bowl, and I understand that. But
You did Dan Marino.
no, exactly. And guess what? He's got better stats than Eli. He's got better stats than Big Ben. And all those same people say, well, those two are in the Hall of Fame. Well,
Big Ben looks. Oh man, he looks like he's got to retire.
Big Ben's two Super Bowls both
looked bad, bro.
Both times he averaged like under 200 yards passing, like in the playoffs. Like he wasn't like he won the Super Bowl. It wasn't because of him. Yes, he made some big plays in that game, right? But like they weren't relying on him to win those Super Bowls. Like it's the same as
especially his rookie one. They were on because of the sick defense.
His sophomore one. It was
really good and really good run offense. And just enough with Hines Ward and I want to say Priest Holmes.
Yeah.
Anyways, not Priest Holmes. It was Mahomes. It was Holmes though. I'm trying to think of the receiver's name. Yes, thank you. Gotcha. But anyways, I totally agree with you. The second one he was more of a factor of. Totally agree.
Yeah.
But that was the only pick I think I got wrong this week. Was I unfortunately went with the Steelers, but like Eric did with the Colts, I was rooting for the Browns, so I was still fucking happy. It's ridiculous.
I did have the Titans. I had the Steelers too.
I had Baltimore. I hate to piss Eric off.
I had the Titans, but. Hey, you're not pissing me off. It don't bother me. That was what we.
Not that I wanted to pick Baltimore, but I was like, anyways, I just felt like Baltimore. I just kind of like where they're going. I don't think who they got this weekend. They got the Bills.
Yeah. So
I love it. No comment. But everything else. So like the Saints, that was an easy pick. But like Eric said, oh my God, like the Saints didn't even look good. As far as I'm concerned, like Eric kind of barely said, but kind of said. Tampa didn't look great. They won, didn't look great. Their defense needs to step it up, man. Like get some. No comment. Bills won. That was a huge hurdle for you guys. Got to play a lot better this week.
I think. I was gonna say. I think it's good that they won and they played not a great game. Right.
Not their best.
Yeah.
Not their best. Totally agree.
And
totally
what we
they almost lost it, almost faltered, but I think this is a huge hurdle. They got the confidence going. But they're playing a hot Baltimore team, so anything can fucking happen.
Yeah, I just think what you've seen out of Buffalo for really the last like 10 weeks was they were a really good team that when they want to turn it on, and like a lot of times have just destroyed guys right from top to bottom. And I think we got a bad game. I don't think we get a second bad game because it'd be too weird for them to have two bad games. And like I said, not that they had a bad game, but not to have a good game.
Not their best.
Right? So the first game we're going to get into, though, is the Rams. And they're dealing with injuries, right? You're talking there's some stuff going on with ribs or core muscles or something with Aaron Donald after he rolls on to...
Definitely ribs. He couldn't breathe.
No.
You could see him struggling.
He was having a hard time. So you have him obviously hurt. That defense looks so good, especially underneath that defensive coordinator. Like he's so young, but he's just got them buzzing around. And Sean McVay on offense. Now Jared Goff, he's playing with screws in his thumb or pins in his thumb, whatever. He's playing in the cold in Green Bay. Like to me, I think Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, I think they just run all over them. I think they're gonna light them up.
Be careful. You got to remember one of the best corners is over there wearing the blue.
So the only thing is, I think that what they might do in that situation though, is I don't think they're gonna line up Ramsey on Davante. They might a bit.
I would all day. He's gonna follow him around. That's what I'd do.
I know.
Follow him around. Make them fucking run the ball, boy.
Or do you do the opposite where you put Ramsey on somebody like Valdez-Scantling, shut him down, and then pull kind of like the New England style of defense where you
No.
put a safety and a corner on Devontae?
I'm gonna make honestly, if it's me, honestly,
Yep.
I'm taking Devontae, so I'm putting the best corner on him. I'm gonna put him on an island. If they need to double him, double him.
Yep.
I'm gonna make you hand the ball to Jones or throw the ball to Jones out of the backfield, or throw to their tight end who's pretty good, and every other receiver. You know, that's what I'm doing, honestly.
Uh-huh.
And I'm taking my chances because if they have to start running the ball, and you got, I don't know how good, like honestly. Like, I don't know how good Donald's going to be. Like, it looks like ribs to me. And if it is, it's not good. So
he's still so good though. Like
that's still a good D line though without him. Like, yeah, no, totally agree. And like Floyd's there, and he's been sneaky, quietly, really fucking good.
And Fox, and I think the way they play defense is really
couldn't
good.
play for the Bears, but man, is he look some good? He can play for the fucking Rams, and he looks really good.
That's the thing you have to look at, right? Like I
love it.
They're so good. I don't know. Are you going with the Packers in this? I'm assuming. I'm picking the Packers.
I really want to go with the Packers. I haven't made my mind up in that game. Like you said, Goff in the cold is one thing, but he's also got his thumb is fucking broken. I know he's throwing a ball good.
Well,
last week,
it's like 50-50 balls. Sometimes they're good balls, sometimes they're really not, which is unfortunate at the same time. But yeah, no, I think Aaron Rodgers. I just think at the end of the day, it comes down to Aaron Rodgers versus.
Oh, wow. There you are.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you are. You froze for a second.
Oh.
So what did you say? You cut out on me.
I said I think Aaron Rodgers. I think it comes down to Aaron Rodgers versus an injured Jared Goff in the cold, and I think that's enough to bump up. The Packers for me.
You got the pack.
Yeah, I think it's.
Oh man, do you know? So you were like, Goff was throwing 50-50 balls. It's like, Eric, he does that healthy. Like, anyways, you were cut out.
Definitely didn't hear that. Definitely didn't hear that
like,
part.
Eric,
that's awesome.
He does that when he's healthy.
This is true. This is
that's
very
horrible.
true.
But anyways, it's not always a tight spiral. That's all I'm saying. People.
It is not.
But
next
anyways,
game.
yeah, for sure. I'm probably leaning towards the pack, but we'll see.
So we're gonna go. I didn't even put up my visual thing here. I had it the whole time. I forgot to click it. You can't see it, Trevor, but between us, there's a little Aaron Rodgers with an Aaron Donald coming down on him, chasing him down.
Jesus.
So that was I think it's going to be a closer game, but the defense is really going to have to play lights out. And I don't know if the Rams can score 28 points. And I think that's what you might have to get, even if Aaron Rodgers and them have an off night. So,
fair enough.
Next game, we're gonna close that down. We're gonna pop this one up. It's the Bills versus the Ravens. I got the Bills. I don't believe in the Ravens. Now maybe I'll be wrong. I think they played a really good defense, but I think that's in a scenario where that Titans team. You just load the box with 8. I think if you try to load the box with 8 against Buffalo, I think you're going to have issues. I don't know. I think the Titans played a terrible game and have a terrible defense, and they barely lost to them. I think the Bills are going to – I think this could be like a 21-point win. Like, I really do.
That's interesting. Keys to the game for Trevor. The Bills gonna establish a little bit of a running game, right?
Which is hard,
so they can't rush all the time because they got some monsters over there, and some good corners. So we'll give them credit. The defense is pretty good, pretty stout back there. But I like their offense. If you shut down Diggs, there's other weapons over there on the receiver end.
Cole Beasley, man.
He's a beauty. But I'm just talking about Davis, rookie, who's done really well this year. Can go vertical. They got Brown back. I know he hasn't looked great. He's been kind of so-so since he's been back, but he's crazy speed, and he's a veteran. And they also got, McKenzie, who's kind of come on here the last 2 or 3 weeks. It's an explosive offense, and they got their tight end. So, I'm leaning towards the Bills here, but I just think it's very important for them to get somewhat – that's all I'm trying to say is a little bit of a ground game. The keys to the game here, keep Lamar in the pocket, make him throw the ball.
Yes.
They're not going to beat you. If you're Buffalo, get out ahead. If you can get out ahead of them too, even if you're behind Buffalo, I wouldn't be worried if you're fans. as long as you can somewhat stop them. But I like the Bills as well. But if they can make Lamar, if they keep him in the pocket and he's got to throw it,
the Titans
and
just
they stop
showed,
their running backs,
yeah, the Titans just showed you how to beat them defensively. You rush, you don't you go, but you don't try to like speed rush them. Essentially, you're just trying to contain them, and then you just collapse, right? And that's what they did.
Stay in your lanes.
Exactly.
Do not let them get out the outside.
You don't need to exactly. Don't let him get outside. Keep him in the pocket. Yes, he had the one big run, which is obviously the highlight thing, and he can do that.
Beauty.
Right? He can do that. And like I said, I like Lamar, but
I was fist pumping. I'm like, yes.
He was gone.
He's no Michael Vick though. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out Michael Vick.
Shout out Michael Vick. Great on the field, not so great off the field.
He's better now. He's leading by example now.
Yeah. For me, I think Josh Allen had a really good year. I think Brian Daboll, who might be the new Chargers head coach. We'll wait and see.
Is that the offensive coordinator for Buffalo?
Yeah.
Or?
The big white bald older bald guy there, which if
I'm Buffalo, I'm just throwing a bunch of money at him. Yeah, he's like, stay, please.
So that's one thing, and I'm sure I could find this out. I always found it weird that you sign a contract as a player, you're stuck there. You can't leave for any other reason. But if you're an assistant coach, you can just pick up and leave whenever the frick you want. Obviously,
and you should be able to.
Yeah, but it's just weird. Like you think, like, look, we signed this guy for a 3-year contract. Like I understand you need to find a way to build these other guys, but I think it'd be better for the NFL if you had it that the assistant coaches had to stick to their contracts and maybe
their agreements.
It's just
honor them. You mean?
Yeah, because like I said, at the end of the day, it's just like some of these teams. Like I'm gonna feel bad for the Titans. The Titans played really good all year. Obviously, they played like shit offensively in the playoffs, but they played really good offensively all year. I think Arthur Smith, the offensive coordinator, I think he had a lot to do with that. And I think it's going to really suck to see that, they built this team and, they're going to now lose a guy that was on their roster, that was under contract for them because he played, he was so good and he made their team so good. So that's my only problem. I think if I could have it one other way, that's what I would do.
Continuity, like with Josh Allen, I think that was huge.
Yeah.
Like you just said, he's been there for all 3 of his years.
Yeah.
And here he's taking this big leap. He's got a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Continuity. I'm a big, like obviously I'm a New England fan, so you guys all know that Belichick's been there for decades, and it shows, right?
Yeah. No, I think
that's why you gotta have a little. You gotta hire the right guy, and you gotta have patience, even when it doesn't go right. Like the Steelers, another example. Tomlin's not always had winning years. I'm pretty sure he's had one bad year. They didn't make the playoffs, but they stuck with him. Didn't get too excited. So,
Exactly.
Myself also though, like Eric said, we're both going Buffalo here.
Yeah.
I do think the Baltimore has a really good chance, but Baltimore's got to get out ahead of them.
Yeah.
And even if they do get out ahead of them, no guarantee. Like Buffalo's just got that offense.
They're just so good.
And I think they got enough defense to beat them, so we'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Hopefully, go Buffalo.
Here's another game. We didn't even talk about it. Cleveland steamrolled. Cleveland.
That's why we didn't talk about it. It was 28-0 in the fucking first quarter.
And people say, well, Pittsburgh only came back. I don't know, man. It's got to be a weird feeling to be up 28-0 on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and there's still, 3 quarters of the game to play, right? It's so weird. It's so, I don't know, man. They obviously Pittsburgh tried to come back, and it was nice to see Baker and the rest of the Browns kind of finish them off, right? Like it's
big time.
It's what you need to see out of them. Baker played really well. He didn't throw any picks. Obviously, the run game got going a little bit too. So I said there was a lot of things.
God damn it, Ottawa scored again.
Yeah,
fuck.
By the way, Derek Stephon got his first goal of the year. Sorry. But yeah, so like I said, there's a whole lot of things going on there. And now your prize for beating the Pittsburgh Steelers and making it to the second round is you get to play the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. So, who essentially only lost one game all year. Obviously, my Chargers beat them week 17.
Cleveland, stay in your element. Run the fucking ball.
Yeah,
Run the ball.
you want to run the ball. You want to take as much time off
Keep
the clock.
Mahomes on the sideline.
Exactly, man. Like, try to give him, if you can limit that guy to 6 drives in the game, that's awesome, right? Like, that should be your plan. Let's keep Patrick Mahomes to 6 drives in the game. If he scores on every one of them, great. That's 42-0, 42 points, right? But try to keep him to like something like 6 drives for the entire game. And, 5 if possible, right? But just run that ball. You get Baker rolling out. You get Nick Chubb.
You get 2 of the best running backs in the league. Run the fucking ball.
Kareem Hunt revenge game for, the Chiefs letting him go. Not really a revenge game. He fucked up himself also. But but I don't know. I still think, even though as good as Cleveland can be, and I think they're getting Denzel Ward back. Yeah. They're getting Denzel Ward. A lot of people don't realize who there's their first round pick from last year at corner. He didn't play last week, so because of COVID and stuff. So I think he'll be back, and then obviously you have the head coach. You're gonna get him back. So I think they're gonna have a pretty good showing. I think they're gonna get. I think Bitonio, their guard, was out last week too.
Yeah, so, one of the really good. Yeah.
So yeah, I said you're missing a lot of guys. Now you're getting them back, hopefully. Conklin, I think the right tackle, he was part of one of the big runs for them. He went out. He might play. They don't know, but I don't know. You got to go with the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs. I think the Browns keep it close.
Yeah, I think so too.
Or by that I mean at least like within 10. Yeah. So I don't think it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think like people are saying they're going to get blown out. Yeah. I don't think it's that. Like, if the Browns stick to their guns, like we just said, run the ball, stay true to who they are, don't get too excited. Kansas City's got a decent defense. I wouldn't say great, and I wouldn't say great against the run. Like, I think that really sets up the Browns to be successful. I know they got Jones there, but you run away from Jones or really stud tackle. I like Matthews, but like there's not a lot of, big names on the defensive side. They play collectively really good as a unit, but there's a lot of better defenses out there. So I'm just saying, stick to your guns, run the ball. You should have some success. You might have a shot. So do your thing, Cleveland. But me and Eric are both on KC here.
Yeah.
I want to fucking pick Cleveland, but I can't do it.
How crazy. The thing with me, and I think we mentioned it multiple times throughout the season.
Maybe if Mahomes didn't have Kelsey and fucking one other weapon, maybe, but still.
It's just the only problem I've had with KC all year is
they haven't played good at all.
No, like
they haven't.
They look they've been flashy, but like, man, they're not a good looking 14-2 team. Like, or essentially 15-1, right? Like
their saving grace is the playoffs here. Like, now it's time to shine again.
Yeah,
look like they're bored out there.
And maybe that's what it was,
let's see if
right?
you are what you guys think you are, and you can repeat, because the last team to do it was New England. And let's see if you can do it, boy.
And
there's been a lot of teams that thought they're going on undefeated in the regular season, and Miami's still the only team that's done it. So that's all I'm gonna say.
It's like I said, I think maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like, hey, look, I think we think we're better than everybody else out there. We think we can turn it on. Like I said, Mahomes almost looks like he's like disinterested out there, which is an odd thing for someone to say when you're talking about an NFL game when you're that talented. Like I said, but I mentioned it multiple times. I found that was the way the first time when the Chargers played him. Like, I didn't find they looked amazing the first time the Chargers played them this year, right? Like, it's ended up being a weird game. Chargers made some weird choices. Jesus.
New England almost beat them without fucking Cam Newton. Cam Newton was really good the first 3 weeks. So you just imagine if they had a Cam Newton who was rolling in. Like, that's sad if you think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that. But anyways. So we both got KC. What game do you want to talk about next?
It's the only other game left. It's your boy. It's Tommy B. And is Tom Brady going to lose to the same team for the first time ever in his career?
Three times
in a row.
And I got to take Tommy B, and I say no, even though I think the Saints, I don't know, like, fuck, I hate to say that because I don't like either, like the Saints or the Bucs didn't play good, as far as I'm concerned, this previous weekend. So I hope the Saints got a whole lot more than what they fucking just showed against Chicago. Obviously, you got Kamara, but you know who looked good was Thomas.
Yeah.
He looked good.
Well, it's nice to see him back, right?
The opportunities he got, exactly.
He's missed so much time. He's missed so much of everything. Like it's just, I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Saints.
I was hoping you would. That would gives me caught. Like, I think the Saints probably should win, but I just that makes me go with New England or New England. Sorry, the Bucks, since you could do that. So it gives me the go with the underdog here.
The New England Buccaneers. I
Oh
just
yeah,
like
TB,
TB just has this
TB,
whole
and TB. I'm just
yeah.
kidding, but
Tom Brady's
seriously.
got this whole team out there looking like he's treating it like the NBA with all these guys, joining up for a million
This
fucking
is the
bucks
dream team
to try to be, to try to win a Super Bowl with
and
Tom
title.
Brady in Tampa Bay, and it drives me nuts. Like
Drives you nuts.
you get all these guys, you get Antonio Brown, which obviously he's a head case, but you get him for nothing. You get just all these guys, right, that all signed for nothing, just to get Tom Brady, and he could stack his team because he could talk to all these guys, and it just I don't know, it makes you
Eric
shake
needs
your
a
head.
hug.
I hate Tom Brady.
That's the
It's
game,
fun.
player.
It's funny because the picture I have is
The
literally
game within the game, homie.
the picture I have up of Tom Brady and Drew Brees is literally them like hugging after like one of the games earlier this year. Like the after game where when they're like talking, they're kind of like hugging it out and
You
dapping each
see
other up.
that picture of both of them with fucking beards, like, and they're both gray as fuck. That was awesome.
Dude.
Anyways,
I don't know,
whatever.
For me, I
So
think it's the
you
defense.
got the Saints. I got the fucking Bucks.
I
I'll
think-
tell you one thing though: the Bucks defense don't step up, they're gonna be screw diddled.
Well, that's why I think the defense for the Saints is a really good defense, and I think Tom Brady has had they finally had the easy route over the last part of the year. That's kind of my thoughts on the Ravens too. I think the Ravens, other than playing the Browns, they haven't really played anybody important over the last like 6 weeks.
They didn't make the schedule though. You're gonna remember that.
I
That's how it
understand
works.
that, but it's just like I said, I don't find they've looked, and they've taken care of business, I guess, at the same time. So you gotta give them props for that. But no, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with the Saints. I don't want to see Tom Brady win.
And I got the Bucks.
I can't stand to watch Tom Brady win another playoff game. It just drives me nuts playing against some
Just do it up,
shitty
Tommy.
teams. And this will be like the
do it
first
up,
time.
buddy.
This is the first time in a long time that he's had to play a hard team in the second round. Like usually this is the Houston Texans 41-13 game or something like that. You know what I mean? Like this is usually the game that Tom Brady can kind of just coast in, and this year he's actually have to play. I'm gonna say Drew Brees does not look great. That's just something, but I think with Michael
Looks
Thomas
horrible last
there,
game.
yeah, he looks terrible. His arm is done. He's retiring after the end of the year, but yeah, Alvin Kamara, I think he's good. Obviously, that's Trevor's boy.
Beauty.
That's Trevor.
It is.
Won him a fantasy championship with Ryan Tannehill. And there's a lot, like I said, a lot of
Mara.
other stuff. Now I got one last question because obviously we've gone through all the teams and all the games for the weekend. Trevor, how does it feel to not have a team in the playoffs?
Sorry, I'm all right with it. You know,
this is the first time
I'm doing what Eric's done for a couple of years now, and
hey, we were
doing some homework in the draft. I'm looking at options. I'm thinking, oh, we really looked. If this guy fell to us, if that guy fell to us, and in the back of my mind, you know what happens? Bill Belichick just opens up the curtains like this, and he goes,
and
"Hey, Trevor,
drafts another.
we're
running
trading
back.
down
Yeah.
into the second round." And I take my hat off like this, and my hair just falls off, like just falls out, and I'm bald. And then I wake up, realize it's a fucking nightmare. It's not going to happen to me this year. Okay, we're taking a good player at 15.
What about
Go
quarterback?
Pats.
What about a quarterback?
What about a quarterback?
Would you trade
You're
up
going
for
to take it
one?
at 15? Depends who's there. No, they won't trade up for a quarterback. If they did, that'd be exciting, but I can't see it.
You gonna take?
So.
The
real question is, the Jets take Fields at number 2, or
they stick it out.
do they trade number 2 and go down and keep Sam Darnold? That's the question.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you. I think you trade Sam Darnold for what you can get from him.
So here's a question too. Would somebody give up a first round pick for Sam Darnold? Like, let's say from 20 down.
No,
I think
Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's gonna go to the Broncos.
That'd be interesting.
I know the Broncos really liked him coming out of college.
I don't have like I'll tell you like you and our fans. I'm not. I need to dig deeper into. I'm not sure what we're
The
gonna do.
draft.
You know who I kind of like though, just from what is it, North Dakota? The quarterback. I'm trying to think, but anyways, I kind of like he runs, but I'll have to look. I'll look into it and give you a better answer here soon. That's all I'm gonna say.
The you're talking about Trey Lance,
Yes,
North Dakota State. So here's the top.
he intrigues me.
Here's
That's
the
all I'm gonna say.
Here's the quarterbacks you could look at, Trevor, if you're looking. So you're not going to get Trevor Lawrence. You can't match Trevor to Trevor.
He's going to Jacksonville.
He's going to Jacksonville. He's out. Now you have Justin Fields and that whole thing. You know, where does Justin Fields go? Does Justin Fields go second overall? A lot of guys, especially if you talk to anybody that likes quarterbacks, a lot of them like Zach Wilson out of BYU. A lot of them compare him kind of.
I don't know. He makes me nervous.
Hey,
He makes me nervous. I'm gonna do some research on him, but he makes me nervous to be honest.
NFL. Give me a second. Mock draft. I'll just use this as an example.
For sure.
So then after that, you have you have Trevor Lawrence to the Jags, whatever the Jets do, but I just don't think you bring back Sam Darnold. I think you screwed up when you brought back Adam Gase. You decided at that point that this season that you weren't going to keep Sam Darnold. And I just don't think that you can't do that to your fans when you're that high of a draft pick to bring back Sam Darnold again when he hasn't really shown you anything. Is that his fault or is that Adam Gase's fault? Who knows? But I just don't think you can.
They didn't surround him with weapons. They didn't fix that offensive line. They did nothing.
No. And then you also just kept Adam Gase, who's a idiot. Next, you're going to have the Miami Dolphins. So, Miami, there's a chance that they aren't picking here because
there's a chance they could pick a quarterback as well. So
they also might just trade for a quarterback in Deshaun Watson.
That won't happen. Houston is not going to bend to that. I would never get rid of the guy that they found.
The thing is, if he doesn't want to play, then
he doesn't get paid.
Yeah, well,
fine him.
What do? You don't still.
This isn't the NBA, Watson. You signed the contract. Show the fuck up.
Yeah, well, that's
the NBA is ridiculous. I love the NBA, but this just become a joke with this shit.
I just want to say real quick, the way that James Harden showed up in shape this year
and handled himself
is an absolute pathetic excuse for a human being. That man showed up 40 pounds overweight at least. Like that guy is huge now.
You know what though? Like
he looks like that.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt over fucking what Kyrie's doing right now. You are a piece of shit, Kyrie.
Well, both of them. You know, James
if I
Harden,
could cut your ass, you'd be cut. Like you are the most pathetic guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, James Harden's the same thing. He's out at his sister's birthday party, chumming around in the clubs. Like I just don't understand what these people are like.
That was Kyrie at his sister's at the club. Fucking Harden's at the strip club, bro.
Yeah, sorry. Harden was at the Rippers with his buddies for a birthday party, and then Kyrie's out at his sister's,
which is apparently really normal, just a normal night. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna show up in the copter with Eric here, and we're just gonna go in for fucking whoop-de-doo Basil.
Going for the clam chowder.
We're just going for a fucking shot. Yeah, we're just gonna go for 2 shots and leave. I said nobody ever.
Yeah, whatever. But anyways,
Kyrie, fuck you, Kyrie. I don't want to talk about it.
That's the NBA's.
But you're totally right. Shows up, fucking. He's got the
He's got the COVID 40 on him at least. And like the crazy thing is we obviously
reminds me of when Vince Carter quit on fucking Toronto.
Well, we saw him in the playoffs. He wasn't that big, so he's literally gained 40 pounds. Close. Like didn't work out at all, and gained how much weight in a couple months, and then you're not showing up. And when you have other guys like Dwight Howard and John Wall in them, and they're all calling you out for you being a piece of shit, like you really should have to look at yourself in the mirror and decide like what was I doing. And I think it's going to look good on Brooklyn when Brooklyn's really terrible in like 3 years when they all leave. So
Brooklyn will go as far as KD will take them.
Yeah, that's
all I'm going to say.
I just don't know how you.
And you know what I feel bad for is they trade away LeVert or whatever. Yeah. He ends up going to Houston and then traded from there to the Pacers, like Eric just said. Man, I watched a couple of Brooklyn games, man. He was so impressive, like especially with Kyrie and
Hmm.
KD out. He was awesome, and just kind of sad. Like, good for him though. Good place to be. The Pacers.
Yeah,
Pacers always make guys studs, so
exactly.
good place to be.
But yeah, I said you never know what could happen there. Do they trade? I said, does Houston give in? Whatever. But obviously, right now the pick belongs to Miami. They could even take a quarterback if they're like, we didn't like what we've seen out of Tua. Now, was it Chan Gailey being a 65 or 68-year-old man, not being able to figure out a better offense for your young mobile quarterback? Who knows? Next one is Atlanta. Does Atlanta say goodbye to Matty Ice? Do they trade him away to someone like the 49ers or something, right?
I think they blow it up. What do you think?
I think they should. I don't think they will because it's the NFL and they never do that. Nobody
I think they
trades.
blow it up.
Nobody trades their big guys, right? Like that's the problem. That's the problem with the NFL. Like, you know
Well, they're not
what?
going to trade them. They're going to cut them.
But you can't. You owe him too much
Well, they
money.
might be able to trade some of them, but
That's the
I don't
problem. Like
know.
with him, like you should trade him. But like that's the NFL, right? That's just the way it is. Um, the Bengals, they're not taking a quarterback. Obviously, they get Joe Burrow. They get Sewell for Oregon, who sat out this year. Then you get the Eagles. Do the Eagles take a quarterback? The Lions, if they move on from Matty Stafford, do they take a quarterback? The Carolina Panthers, do they take a quarterback because Teddy Two Gloves isn't the answer? The Denver Broncos, they're also dog shit. Do they take a quarterback? Drew Lock probably isn't the answer. The Dallas Cowboys, I think they're just going to sign back Dak. The New York Giants are going to run it with Danny Jones. San Francisco, they might take a quarterback. Chargers aren't taking a quarterback. Minnesota's kind of locked in still. And then it's the Patriots. So I think you're looking at like a Max Jones, maybe, Trevor, from Alabama. Um,
No,
or,
don't
or,
do that.
or Trey
I don't want.
Lance.
I don't want Tua trouble. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what to think with Tua. I'm gonna have to go look at the tape, but he looks hesitant to throw the ball. Like when those guys are so wide open in Bama. But I haven't given up on him. It's just too small of a sample.
Yeah.
Um, he was hitting his checkdowns and stuff, but he's kind of reluctant to throw the ball downfield because he's just not as sure. But you know how it is, Eric. You hesitate for a second in the NFL, you miss that window. So
I just want to.
that's the difference between the NFL and college.
I just want to say
So
real quick,
let it fly.
it's a pretty good feeling to go from a future Hall of Famer to Justin Herbert, who's a very good quarterback, and
Who
because that
Eric
was
didn't like in the draft. Thank you. I was
not
pumping
that I
the tires. I was like, don't take him.
didn't not that I didn't like
Fuck.
him. It's not that I didn't like him. I
Didn't
didn't know
like
about
him.
him at 6 just because
Didn't want him.
and he kind of had the Alex Smith program over in Oregon where he had a different offensive play caller every year, and maybe they were so obviously I was wrong, and I wasn't saying that he wasn't good. I just said
Get off the shrooms, Aaron.
it is
Get
what
off
it
the
is.
shrooms.
But anyways, this was mine and Trevor's. We've mentioned it on the podcast before. This was
We're
our
back.
biggest fear ever when we were talking. We started talking about this 4 years ago, and we said, you know what? Eventually, it might even be longer than that. Like 5 years ago. Yeah, it was 5 years ago. It was the year you guys lost to the Chiefs or whatever, and we were talking about, you know what, man? Like, there's gonna come a time soon.
When the hell did we lose to the Chiefs? What are you smoking?
You guys lost.
Who the hell?
You guys lost to
Probably
the Chiefs.
Baltimore.
No, you guys lost to the Chiefs in the regular season. Remember, you guys lost like 44-10.
Oh, they spanked us. Yeah, You're right. Sorry.
We were at the house in Dawson.
I remember
I'll
that.
always remember it.
Fuck.
And we were talking about like, you know what, man? We've been pretty spoiled. Like you've had Tommy since 2000 and 2001, whatever it was. I've had Philip
Ever.
Rivers since 2005. Like, I've had all these guys. We've had all these our quarterbacks for 15 years. They've been a top 10 quarterback every year. Like you look at some of these franchises out there, you look at someone like Jacksonville, Philip Rivers would be the best quarterback in franchise history for 16 teams in the league.
Mark Brunell is the best quarterback in Jacksonville.
Yes.
He's probably my favorite quarterback. Well, Byron Leftwich doesn't get enough credit, but he wasn't too bad. But then he became a plug. But
Yeah.
he was not, he did pretty well for what he had, I
And then
think.
and then they bring in Blaine Gabbert. They're like, this is the best. This is awesome. They're gonna sit him behind Brian Leftwich. We're gonna let
He's
him learn.
behind Tommy now.
We're gonna let him sit behind Brian Leftwich and learn. And then they kept Brian Leftwich through 6 days before the start of the season. I was like, well,
Crazy,
there goes
eh?
there goes Blaine Gabbert's career.
Yep.
Anyways, there's some questionable decision making in NFL front offices. Let's put it that way. But I know I'm excited. Like I said, we get 4 games, 2 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday.
And hockey's
We got
back.
hockey back. I'm watching the Leafs lose 5-3 right now.
Sweet. At least we scored.
You did score.
We're gonna play them again tomorrow.
The Rangers,
Johnny.
The Rangers beat up on the Penguins 5-2 again. I think Konechny had a hat trick. I seen Gritty throw an oversized hat on the ice. So there was that. There's hockey's back. NBA's back. I'm all in on RJ Barrett, by the way, the Canadian boy for the Knicks. I'm all in on him. That's my boy. So
I like him too, but my boy's Gilchrist over there for OKC. Boy, he's fucking sick. See his cousin go off for 29 points.
Yeah, SGA. He's
fuck
looking
that.
good.
Don't say his name.
Well, you called him Gilchrist.
Alexander.
You called him Gilchrist and say Shea Gilchrist Alexander. So
I'm tired. I worked from 6:30 yesterday to 10 o'clock at night. Okay, I'm tired.
You know
look at the bags under these eyes. Like, son of a mother.
Trevor, I screwed up and I feel so.
I'm burnt.
I'm sorry, and audience, if you can hear me, I'm sorry to you guys too. Trevor, how have you been?
I'm burnt out. That's what I put a shift in yesterday. I'm tired now. It wasn't too bad today. They kept me busy. When they keep me busy, I'm pretty good. But the minute I start to relax, I'm tired. As you can see, look at the bags, man. This is ridiculous. I'm not stoned. I'm just tired. Okay?
Yeah, this is true.
Lord, Thunder, and Jesus. But I can't complain. Things are well, and whatever. Haven't been feeling great lately, but that's for other reasons. Obviously,
I know. I got you.
Anyways, unfortunately, the ground's hard. So
yeah,
I had a bad one today, but there's nothing I can do. I'm gonna have to call my doctor. But whatever, that's life. On to the positive things in life.
Yeah,
like the Ottawa Senators whooping up on the Leafs.
I was gonna say like the Ottawa Senators beating up on the Leafs. No, I said it's good. I'm happy to have everything back. I'm gonna go 4-0 here for a wild card or it's not wild card. Dreaming. Yeah, divisional playoff round. I'm gonna go 4-0.
I went 4 and what was it? I went 5-1 last week.
Yeah, I went 4-2.
The only one I got wrong was who did I get wrong?
Pittsburgh.
Yes. Why? I wanted to go with the Browns people, but whatever. Doesn't matter.
It is what it is.
Fuck you, Pittsburgh. I hate you anyways, bitches.
Anyways,
Big Ben is done, by the way. Before we leave, Big Ben's done. That's all I'm gonna say.
He does not
retire.
He doesn't even. He does like, and the Pittsburgh's so screwed when it comes to like their draft picks and everything else. Like
they must have their first this year.
They have their first this year, but it's also just like they have so many guys that are making so much money. Like I think if Roethlisberger comes back, I think they're like $40 million over the cap if the season started tomorrow, and that's including all the guys that they lost.
You know what's funny? You know who else is in salary cap trouble? It's Philadelphia, and they're shit.
You know who's not in salary cap trouble?
New England.
No, Indianapolis. Man, those guys. I want to give all the credit over to that organization because I think they did a heck of a job. I can't say enough. I think Indy's one of the better franchises around. I think they really have it figured out. And
they do now.
And I'm excited.
They hired that was a good hire though in their coach. Like you were saying earlier. What else did I want to say? There's one other thing I wanted to say, and I think it just slipped my mind.
Big Ben's shit. Drew Brees retiring. Tom Brady.
I think
shit.
Big Ben should retire too. He's coming back apparently. But I was gonna say that it's remarkable though how Big Ben started off the year and they did so well and his arm was electric, and then when you get to the end of the season, his arm is just goose shit.
But a lot of that,
and he can't throw 20 yards down the field.
A lot of that was also they were doing like bump and run stuff. They were doing little short game stuff too, right? Like I don't know. There's a lot that was going on about it. But I don't know. Big
Ben trying to scramble made Tommy look like he was a fucking That's how
Gazelle.
bad he looked.
Yeah,
Like, that's all I'm gonna say.
wait.
Yeah, it's just not good.
Wait and
Looks
see.
like all those hits when he was younger have caught up to him.
Yeah, Wayne Simmons out here trying to start something like with
Don't start something, Wayne.
20
Jesus Christ, we
23
gotta play them
seconds.
tomorrow night.
23 seconds left. Austin Watson barely got a tooth left in his head. He's just laughing at him. And I understand that's Wayne Simmons' game at this point, but it is what it is. Anyways, we've kept you guys all long enough. You guys have probably been like, you guys are rambling on for nothing. We understand that. If you haven't yet, go check us out on Instagram. Go check us out on YouTube. If you guys like watching people open cards, I've been opening cards on YouTube on the website. So this is on YouTube also. If you want to watch mine and Trevor's reactions, or you just want to look at our beautiful faces, come check us out.
Yeah,
give us a subscribe, give us a like, and we'll go from there. Anyways, for Eric and for Trevor, this is signing off.
Keep your stick on the ice.
Bye, guys.